Alright, what is up YouTube and Twitter? We're going to be beating down some quick deck list for you guys from information I was sent. So, first one we actually have is from Alex Bergeron. He went 6-2-1 at the San Antonio Regional. He was X1-1 for most of the tournament. He ended up getting 23rd place. There was over 300 people. So this is Combo Guard Dragon, actually Pendulum Magician Edition, which is actually pretty cool. He said the combo involves Guard Dragon, Pisty, and summoning Ignister turn 1. Locks the opponent out of the extra deck and spells, and sometimes the extra and searching depending on the Amorphage scale you use. So this is actually pretty interesting. So let's specifically talk about these guys. So for those of you that don't know, Amorphage Goliath over here, huge guy, monster effect, neither player can swatch some monsters from the extra deck this turn, which is actually pretty good. And then the Pendulum effect, control the Amorphage monster, any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead, which is actually really important. Now, Lashiri over here, you control Amorphage. Neither player can activate spell cards or their effects, which is actually fucking ridiculous. And if this card is Pendulum, summoned or flipped face up, neither player can swatch some monsters from the extra deck while this card is face up. So there's that. And then we have Mr. Sloth over here. You control an Amorphage, neither player can add cards to their deck to their hand, except by drawing them. And then once per turn during the step of face, you read a monster, destroy this card. And then while this guy is face up, neither player can swatch some monsters from the extra deck. So I do want to point out that the Amorphage engine has been pretty interesting over time. We've seen a lot of degeneracy with this. So let's dig on into this list. I think there's a lot of innovation to be had about this particular list in general. So I'm looking forward to seeing in the comments what people actually think about this. So we have 2 copies of Abyss Curtain Riser. We have 1 copy of Goliath, 1 copy of Lashiri, we have 1 copy of Slothman, we have 1 Blackfang, triple Sorcerer, 1 Destrudo, and we actually have 1 copy of Dragon Caller. So once per turn you target 1 face-up card on the field, it becomes Dragon type until the end of your opponent's turn, which is actually amazing considering things like Aggro Pain and stuff all require dragons, which is really good. And then of course his monster effect, you can make this card become dragon until the end of the turn. A monster that was fusion, synchro, or Xyz summoned using this card will gain the effect of this card battles a dragon monster. This card's attack becomes double its original attack until the end of the damage step. So pretty interesting there. We have triple copies of Harmonizing Magician, 1 copy of Lester. We have 2 copies of Apex Avian. We've kind of seen that this has become a staple for Pendulum decks in the current point in time. I think 2 of this is fine. You don't want to push more than 1 of the, or more than 3 of these. It's just pick your ratios, 2 to 3. 1 copy of O-Dragon. We have 1 copy of Purple Poison. Triple copies of Dark Worm and Gate Zero, so the best engine Pendulums have going for it. 1 Time Gazer, triple Wisdom Eye, and 1 Dragon Caller. Spells, we have triple Called by the Grave, 2 Dragon Shrine, 1 Foolish Rattle, triple Pendulum Call, 2 Desires, 2 Allure of Darkness, and 2 copies of Duelist Alliance. The extra deck down here, we have 1 Wee Witch's Apprentice, 1 Triple Bear's Dragon, 1 Saruja, 1 Electromite, 1 Pisty, 1 LP, 1 Bring the Pain, 1 copy of Boral Sword, 1 copy of Dark Rebellion, 1 copy of Odd Eye's Absolute Dragon, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Borrowed Savage Dragon, 1 Meteor Burst, 1 Ignisty, and 1 copy of Vortex Dragon. And then the side deck here, we have triple Ash Blossom, 2 copies of Denko Rekka, 2 Prankatops, triple Lava Golem, 2 copies of Radion, 1 Phoenix in the side actually, and 2 copies of Red Reboot. Wrapping this up, I do think that this is one of the more interesting builds. This is innovation at its best. I will give it to Bergeron. Like, I'm always happy to see cool concepts like this come across the table. You know, granted he finished 6-2-1, but that's fine. Like, put the concept out there. Let somebody else test this theory and see if it will be successful for somebody else. So, good job on this, Alex. Like, I want to see more from you as well when we have cool ideas like this. If you guys have other cool ideas like this too on regional level, send them on in. I want to talk about these. Now, we're going to switch gears and we're going to talk about ARG Chicago this weekend. I've had a couple of deck lists sent in to me from the event, and we're going to cover them. The first one is actually going to be, that's right, True Draco. We've seen True Draco doing relatively well this weekend, and I'm actually not shocked to see this. I do think that in the long run, the deck has a better metagame call than the rest of the game, and we literally uploaded a feature match last weekend showcasing that there could only be one is such a good card right now. Like, yeah, Summon Limit is really good, but like this guy right here, like, just fuck it, still one of the best cards that the deck has going for it. So So dig on into this. So we're playing triple copies of Inspector Border. I've seen a lot of true Draco players play this and a lot of them not play it. I do think for the power that this gives to the deck, it is really fucking good, actually. More so than others. Why would you play true Draco and not play this? But yes, Inspector Border, really good at the current point in time. We have triple copies of Ignis, which is pretty standard. 2 copies of Majesty Made, 1 copy of Dynamite. If we had more copies of Dynamite, this deck might be a little bit better. We have triple copies of Diagram, triple copies of Heritage, triple copies of the Disciples, and triple copies of Cartomize. These are all standard numbers. No real changes here. We have 2 copies of Duality and 2 copies of Terraforming with 1 Upstart. I'm very interested to see that there is only 2 copies of Duality in here, but when you are sifting through the deck and things like that, you can dead draw other dualities. So I understand why you don't want to play multiple copies beyond 2. It's a weird mentality to come off of when you've seen it for so long. We have triple copies of Monarch's Erupt, probably one of the better cards. As you can see, we don't have an extra deck down here, so we do what we do. Triple copies of There Could Only Be One, triple copies of Apocalypse, 2 copies of Waterfall, 1 Return, 1 Pre-Order, and 1 Judgment. The extra deck is bare empty because, Erupt is really good. The side deck here, we have 1 copy of Metatron. I'm actually curious to know how this went for him selling it, or siding it, just because I think a lot of people kind of toss this card to the side. They're like, oh, you're not playing the extra deck, why play this? It's another masterpiece for certain matchups. We have 2 copies of DD Crow. This card's so good. Triple copies of Sphere Mode for those near unbreakable boards. Triple copies of Even the Match. Triple Rivalry. And actually triple Dark Bribe in the side. This is an interesting tech choice as well. Didn't think I would see this in the side for a deck like this. Mainly in Stun, but not like this. So, this is another top 16 deck list we're also going to cover here in a second. But man, congratulations, True Draco. You definitely did it. Now, moving on along. We actually are going to be looking at Salad. Now, Salad's pretty much been the same for the whole format. You got your little tech choices. You're either playing 2 copies of Will, 1 copy of Will, or 0 Will, but, it's kind of up in the air. Paro has made his way into the side deck, I think, for a majority of these, because with time rules being the way they are right now, and they're being harshly unfair, you actually get access to this off of our friend here, which gives you a free 2,000 life, so you can win in time. Now, the interesting thing about this build is I am seeing Kaijus here. Now, there are no interrupted Kaiju Slumbers in this deck. There are just 1 Turtle, 1 Kumamungus, and 1 Doggo Man. I actually find these to be relatively... Honestly, I think this is pretty good. Interesting tech choices here, actually. We're also not cheeking out with Buffalero or any of the other cheeky stuff. None of the Crusadia guy in this. This is just literally more standardized. So we have triple copies of Lady Debug, of course our Roto. Triple copies of Gazelle, please limit this card. We have 2 copies of Foxy, and we have 2 copies of Spinny, actually. And then we have 1 copy of Jaguar Man, 1 Falco, triple copies of Ash Blossom, triple Phantasmi, 2 copies of Ghost Ogre, triple copies of Feck Veiler, 1 Gamma Seal, 1 Kumamungus, 1 Doggo Man. And then we have triple copies of Cold by the Grave, 2 copies of Desires. We have triple copies of Salamangreat Circle, 1 Salamangreat Sanctuary, 1 Upstart, 1 Will of the Salamangreat, 1 in Pre-Order, 1 Rage, and 1 Roar. And then down here in the extra deck, oh man, does this deck ever actually get unstandardized at any point? We have triple copies of Sunlight Wolf, we have 2 copies of Heat Leo, triple copies of Valenix, 1 copy of Unicorn, 1 Phoenix, 1 Hida, 1 Boral Sword, 1 Borreload, 1 Salamangreat, Mirage Stalio, and 1 Dweller. And then we have triple copies of Lancia, triple copies of Brinkatops, triple Droll, 2 Twin Twister, triple Red Reboot, and 1 copy of Paro. So nothing else really to point out here. Just little innovations in the tech choices for this. I do want to thank this list was sent in, I believe, from Jonathan Condicino. Man, I'm really terrible with names. And then I also want to thank Skylar Ogglesby for sending in his True Draco list as well from the event. So both of those players, congratulations on making top 16 of the ARG in Chicago this past weekend. Also, congratulations to Alex for actually showing me a relatively interesting concept across this platform. So guys, Please comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. We are nearing a ban list, so I don't know how much information and decks I will be able to post, but I will cover what I can, guys. Alright, thanks for watching, guys, and I'm out. Peace. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanCole40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.